It's funny how sometimes these people pick up on things that are announced at a certain point in time, like this particular instance where they're talking about Xbox hardware, even though this was something that kind of came out over the weekend. And it's very interesting to me because people are like, oh, wow, I guess that means Xbox is, thriving and, they're going to be ahead of the game and things like that. Nowhere have I seen anything like that be the actual case. So, at the same time, when I look at this and I go, this is interesting stuff, where will they take it? I mean, I think anytime you have new hardware, it's interesting. But when you talk about Xbox in terms of where they've been and come from for the last 10 years, it's okay to be a little bit skeptical too. So you see, I'm excited, but I'm also very skeptical because, obviously a lot of things have changed over time. So what was funny was watching IGN pick up on this, right? Xbox moving full speed ahead on next-gen console. Look into the future and the past, according to this. And I covered this in another video. It's about the internal email from Sarah Bond from Windows Central, but also announced the formation of the game preservation team, which I thought was cool. I think that's a very cool thing to kind of go out there and make sure. So no information was really shared regarding the hardware itself, nor when fans might be able to buy it, but documents leaked in 2023 suggest that Microsoft plans to release their next Xbox in 2028, but a lot of rumors suggest maybe 2023. They're making it a little bit of a priority, so it could be one of those things that comes out sooner rather than later. Now, for me personally, 2028 seems way too far because that's even longer amount of time than the Xbox 360, I believe. So, you would really I think, start to lose a lot of people at that point. I'm not at the point where I think that people should be getting or expecting upgraded hardware every, 3 years, because I think that's silly. But I think, consoles used to have a 5-year life cycle, and I'm fine with that. I feel like you get your $500-$600 worth with, every 5-6 years or whatever. And I think that that's fine. I have no problems with it. I know people were kind of outraged even when Nintendo did the Wii U and then basically dumped it like 4.5 years later, or even the original Xbox, right? Let's just be real. The original Xbox came out and then 4 years later they came out with the 360. So I think that they got to do something similar. They've got to do something a little bit more on that level, I think, to surprise people, because people are very much entrenched in kind of the ecosystems that they're in. And I mentioned this years and years ago, even when before this generation even started. I mentioned this probably 8 years ago, and what I said was Microsoft picked a very bad generation to lose with the Xbox One, because everything is so much more digital now. Right, the games that we buy, a lot of them are digital. Even myself, I got like 1,400 games installed digitally. I have 250 physical as well, but even those, I think a vast majority of them are games that don't have anything on the disc. So, for me personally, when you see this and you kind of go, okay, well, people go look at this and go, well, that's a slap in the face to those people that thought Xbox was going out of business or whatever. Like, for me, these two, that doesn't really necessarily mean anything. Like, companies make promises all the time. Just look at the stuff that Microsoft has promised us time and time again, and that hasn't come through. And Sony too. It's like, these companies make all these promises. We're going to make the best hardware, we're going to make this. Like, I don't, like, that's fine. Give me good hardware, great, that's exciting, but give me the games. And I mentioned this previously as well. We're in a situation where Xbox fans, and this is like some other rumor that popped up for some reason today or maybe over the weekend, was that Microsoft might be looking to buy Square Enix. Like, that's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard. Like, here's the thing. It would make zero sense for Microsoft to buy Square Enix. Square Enix probably wouldn't be able to be bought by Microsoft anyway. They're a Japanese company. Yes, it's possible, but you'd have to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole and things like that. Square Enix sold off their Western companies, so and it wouldn't really make sense. I mean, I understand that Square is struggling a little bit right now, but Microsoft absolutely still entrenched in the situation with the FTC here. I know people realize that, that's past or whatever, but the FTC is literally still trying to stop and undo what's going on. I mean, it's highly unlikely at this point, also given the fact that Microsoft is literally putting games on PlayStation. So it's super unlikely that that would ever happen. But, when you see this kind of stuff happening the way that it does, I can understand why people would, I don't understand the thought process to people like, just let's get the games out that have already been announced, right? Can we do that? It's like, is there something wrong with that? And I've mentioned this multiple times, like, man, they've announced so many games, and they have so many games that have, like, literally come out, not come out yet, right? Like, every day. Right. They have games that from 2019 that they announced that still haven't released. Some stuff like Everwild, we don't even know what it's about, right? But please, can we stop with the buying of studios and this and that? It's like it's getting borderline ridiculous at this point. Now, I think it's cool, hey, more hardware, but excuse me if I don't exactly trust Microsoft at this particular point. So, honestly, I hope that they get everything together, and I hope things work out. Like, I'm a little bit torn. Hey, I'm into a handheld if it's dockable. I think that's a cool idea. Don't mess it up with a bunch of PC stores and nonsense. Just, something that you can already put your existing Xbox games on if you wanted to go, or you can play them off the TV with your Xbox controller. I think that's a smart move going forward. I think anything other than that is confusing and really just setting yourself up for trouble. At the end of the day, I think Microsoft has a lot of work to do. Earning trust, earning anything like that from people, I think, is something that they're going to have to worry about in the future as well. I want to see Microsoft survive and thrive. I want to see Xbox put up big numbers and be competitive with PlayStation. Like, I think everybody should want that, to be honest with you. So, at the end of the day, that's what I'm hoping for. And, hopefully Microsoft gets it together, because you have to listen to the fans. You have to be able to get people excited about what's going on. Honestly, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to do that. And it can't just be the same, like, people on social media that are like, yeah, Xbox is playing chess and Sony's playing checkers, right? Like that. I've heard that for a decade plus. It's not true. You know what I mean? Like, Phil Spencer couldn't. I'm sorry, like, I don't trust Phil and company. The guy couldn't grow a plant, much less an industry. So let's save the last for the people that make us laugh professionally. So anyway, what do you guys think? I'll link this. Are you guys excited about this new stuff, or are you not? Do you just, like, it seems like we get more console announcements and exclusives? I don't know. It's crazy. Let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.